Hey everybody, what's good? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome to the weirdness and the insanity, and if you're returning, bring it in all the love to you. I honestly don't know what I'm doing right now. I've been staring at this LED light for far too long. I've been trying to pump out these sit-down videos, so to speak. So we're actually gonna do a video about this painting here, which is one of my favorites. I feel like I've said that about almost all of them, but this one too does have a special place in my heart. It's the story behind my painting called Be Yourself or Die Inside. Let's take her off the wall here. So this canvas is different than any other thing that I've painted on. I think, yeah, I created this before I started painting on skateboards and stuff like that, but I really found that I love painting on like a wood base. I wasn't a fan of like the texture because this is kind of rough, but it turned out pretty good as far as shading. I feel like shading is, I don't know, it was a little bit, I don't want to say easier, it was kind of a little bit more complicated, but I accepted the challenge for what it is. So if you are new, welcome. My name is Tyler. I create art, paintings, all this stuff based around mental health awareness. The mission of what I'm doing is pulling the light out of the darkness. That's my mission. That's what I want to do. I want to make a difference with art. So I have these sit-down videos that I've been doing and continue to do because one, I enjoy it, and two, I feel like there's a lot more that goes into a painting than what somebody thinks, and I kind of want to tell people my perception. Someone's going to have their opinion that might mean something completely different to them, but I feel like it's very important to tell the stories behind these pieces, because when people relate to each other and they have that tangibility and they feel like they can relate to someone, it means more. It brings something more value. So that's why I'm doing these sit down videos. I did want to mention that, like I said, this is kind of on like a press board, and then it's got a wooden frame around it. This is a 16 by 20. I almost hit myself in the face there. It does have a matte clear coat finish sprayed on top of it. But bees are very significant to me. I used to kind of be afraid of them as a child. Like I admired them from afar, but I don't want to get close to them because I was always told, when we're told when we're kids, like, oh, be careful, you're gonna get stung. And I just, growing older and learning more about plants and insects and animals, I've always had a love for bugs. I have quite a few of them on me. I have like 3 butterflies. I have a grasshopper, you can't really see it, and then I have a dragonfly up here. I've always loved bugs, and so I just got really inspired, and I was like, I want to paint a bee, something I've never done before. The heart down here is pretty cool. It says, music is food for the soul, and the imagery is kind of ironic because, obviously bees pollinate flowers, and I never really realized how big of an importance the bees had in an environment or an ecosystem. They keep everything moving, they keep plants thriving, they pollinate plants basically, and they make honey, which I love honey if you're into natural sweeteners and stuff like that. But yeah, this is just based around mental health awareness, and I put flowers around it to kind of give it more of like a delicate approach. And then, since mental health is very important to me and it's something that, circles my life, but your mental health matters. And then I used I wanted to kind of bring this out. I wanted this to look like dripping honey, so I took the paint and I just free poured it. Full trust, you guys. And then I shaded all of this, and that's supposed to represent looking like honey. And then this says Be Yourself or Die Inside. And then there's a honeycomb here to kind of coincide with the bee there. And then there's a flower because that's what they pollinate. Just kind of a piece to tie it in. The phrase Be Yourself or Die Inside came to me while I was painting this, and I was like, should I put it in there? Should I not? And I was like, you know what? Screw it. This is my art. I'm gonna add whatever I want into it. So I did, and I put it in there because if you're anything like me, you are a people pleaser. And the people pleaser in me is slowly dying. I used to care so much about what everybody thought of me. It consumed my mind. It fed my anxiety. It fueled my anxious thoughts and tendencies, and I feel like the younger I was, the more that I was fueled by anxiety. I was constantly in an anxious state. I feel like I'm getting better with age, and I've been putting in the work to heal myself, and I've really been putting in the work to become a better person and just calm my nervous system, because I've been in fight or flight for such a long time, and there's so much of myself that I gave up, and I'm actually really happy. I think it was 6 or 7 years ago I started this YouTube channel up again. Like, it was kind of off and on. I made a video or two here or there, and there were like a few years gaps in between them, and I took some of the videos down because they no longer resonate with who I am as a person. But if you go back and watch some of my older videos, especially from several years ago, I'm a completely different person. I'm still Tyler, but the realness in me was kind of hidden beneath me. I would say or do things like I was kind of afraid to speak my mind because I didn't want people upset with me. I didn't want people to think of me in a certain light. And one thing I've really had to come to terms with in my life is to not give an flying F what anybody thinks. People are gonna have an opinion regardless, and this life is short. And I know it's cliche, and I feel like I say a lot of cliche things in my videos, but it's the truth. Like, how heartbreaking would it be to get to the end of your life and be like, wow, I wish I gave an F less about what everybody thought. You know what I mean? Like, when I quit my job, I got highly judged by my family, and I kind of avoid family functions because the judgment is there. And people act like I'm unemployed, but there's a difference. I'm self-employed. I've busted my ass to get to where I am. I burned through my savings to get to where I am. I've sacrificed a lot of things because in order to do something great and in order to do something different, it takes strength, it takes tenacity. And slowly but surely, the layers of, you know, the weight of everybody else falls off around you. I think the biggest realization and the biggest internalization moment I had was I did Healing Hearts through the church that I went to at one time. And I remember one of the prayer ministers looked at me and he's like, Tyler, why are you carrying all this weight? And I was like, I don't know, like, who else is going to? He's like, it's not your job. It's not your job to carry the weight of somebody else's problems. Like, don't get me wrong, it's okay to be there for a friend, but to carry the weight of everybody's opinions and their problems is a lot. I constantly felt like hands were around my neck. I couldn't breathe. I was very anxious. And the funny thing is the people that I cared about their opinions the most really aren't in my life at all. Or, you know, they've moved on. And I think a lot of people really get upset with me is because when people walk out of my life or they're not a part of my life anymore, I don't take it personal. It's not that I'm heartless or it's not that I care, but when you get to a place in your life where you're so used to people walking away, you just kind of, you get used to it. And, you know, at first I took it really personal, but I don't anymore because it's like, I trust God's plan for my life. I trust the path that I'm on. I'm trusting everything that he has in store for me. Sometimes people are there for a season, sometimes they're there for a lifetime, sometimes they're in one season. Me and my friend Lisa Garby, she lives up north, we were talking about this. Sometimes you're friends with somebody and then you know, get distant, life gets busy, and then years later you come together and it's like you left off from where yesterday was. So, you know, when people want to make plans with me or whatever and they can't, I don't get offended. I don't get offended when, you know, people cancel, unless it's like an ongoing thing where it's wasting my time, then I get irritated. But the people pleaser in me, like, I've started to care a lot less about what other people are doing or what they're thinking about me because I have no control over that. There's a lot this last year. I'm not going to get into the details because I'm sure some people would cancel me on here. There's some beliefs that I have that I have been ridiculed for, and I have no F's given. I don't care. At the end of the day, your life is about you. And like Gary Vee said, I read this one quote and he's like, what the F does anyone's life have to do with you? Focus on yourself. And that has kind of been an ego thing with me, is like, I used to be like, oh, I'm gonna rush in and save this person, until I started being around people that like acted like they needed to fix me. I don't need to be fixed. And I'm guilty. I've tried to fix ex-boyfriends. I've collected people in my life and I thought it was my mission to just fix them and make them better. When in return, I was running from myself. I was running from my own problems. And, you know, I've done life alone for such a long time. I've dealt with my issues by myself. I have this is kind of deep. All my videos are, so like, what the hell is the difference? It's nothing new. It's just who I am as a person. I have like this hyper independence that, one, I'm trying to break, because how are you ever going to attract a loving partner if you're like that? It's not that I don't need people's help, but when I get to where I'm going in life, I'm not going to need the congratulations because I've rooted myself on thus far. I'm the one who wakes up in the morning. I'm the one who gets up and does this thing called life, because even though I have depression, I'm not gonna rot in bed. I've done that before in my, early and mid 20s. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not giving myself an excuse to sit there and sulk in my sorrows and, worry about lay in bed worrying about what everybody thinks of me. Do I get stuck in them traps still sometimes? Absolutely yes, because I'm human, but I've gotten a lot better. So, moral of this painting is be yourself. Shine bright. Be your fucking self. And if people don't like you for it, God will replace them with people that love you. He'll replace them with new people. Even if your mindset shifts, He's gonna bring people into your life that are gonna have similar goals, values, and they're gonna help you be better in life, and they're not gonna compete with you. They're genuinely gonna be happy with your success. So I know I kind of went off on a rambling session there, but that's the story behind this painting. I hope you enjoyed it, and leave me a comment down below if you struggle with people pleasing. I know the people pleaser in me is slowly dying, you guys. It's liberating, I must say. So I hope you have a great rest of your day, month, year, second, and until next time, my homages, peace out.